Hello everyone. A busy day today, and that's why I'm recording this update this unusually early, because it's 15 to 8 in the morning right now in Moscow, by Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze, and this is my first update in which I will share all the latest news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages. I will definitely try to make second update, although not quite sure about it yet, but I will definitely be active on the Telegram. So that's been said, let's talk about news now. And first of all, of course, breaking news for this moment and since the yesterday evening, which is that fire breaks out on nuclear power plant after Ukrainian attack. The Zaporozhye nuclear power plant has caught fire after being shelled by Ukrainian forces. The governor of the Russia's Zaporozhye region, Evgeny Balitsky, stated on Sunday the fire is under control. The official said the fire broke out following a Ukrainian attack on the nearby city of Energodar on Sunday and affected the plant's cooling systems. Balitsky said in a statement the plant's 6 reactors were placed in a state of cold shutdown as a precaution. The governor continued, adding that there is no threat of steam explosion or other consequences. Emergency workers are working at the scene of the fire, and the source of ignition have begun being eliminated. According to governor, radiation levels around the plant are normal, and there is no threat to people nearby. This is official statement, and this is the video, by the way, of burning cooling system. These huge buildings, by the way, they are part of cooling systems of power stations, and reports are coming in that Kyiv regime targeted the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant with a drone or maybe drones, and that's the consequences. It's clearly nuclear terrorism. There is no way around it. Kyiv regime is trying now to divert people's attention, and they are saying that they're saying quite crazy stuff, that it's a Russian side bringing some tires and burning those tires or something. I mean, crazy, man. Some crazy statements we are hearing from Kiev, and not surprisingly. So, TASS news agency reports about reaction of Rosatom on the current situation on Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, and Rosatom is calling this incident as a nuclear terrorism, and the very same position was expressed by Maria Zakharova, official representative of Russian Foreign Ministry. She also called this attack on Zaporozhye nuclear power plant by Kyiv regime as a nuclear terrorism, and she called IAEA, International Atomic Energy, and the head of IAEA to get involved and finally say something about terrorist activity, nuclear terrorism of the Kyiv regime. Yet again, if you remember yesterday, I mentioned IAEA, and I said that this is formally it's a UN body, but in reality this institution is controlled, the so-called international organization is controlled by Western ruling class, and therefore I don't think we will hear any strong statements from IAEA. Main point for now is that according to official statements, there is no threat of radiation at this point, although scene is definitely feels wrong and dangerous. That's for sure. This is, after all, a nuclear power station, and even though reactors nuclear reactors on the station are in cold shutdown stage, fuel rods need constant cooling. And if cooling system shuts down, then of course temperature will rise of these fuel rods, and some unpredictable processes may take, and that will be dangerous stuff. That will be definitely dangerous stuff. I'm quite sure Russian specialists are working in the area to make sure that there is no threat of nuclear meltdown or and the cooling system is operating properly. But this is, by the way, I mean, I don't know, this is next level of craziness that we are witnessing from Kiev regime, and it is truly time something to be done about these crazies, man, in Kiev, because they are becoming danger for entire world. If until now some people may argue in the West that well, Kiev regime, they may be crazies, but they are not danger for the West, they are danger only for Russia. Those people should think twice about their takes on the situations, because if something happened to nuclear power station, you would never know in which direction wind will take radioactive particles. And those radioactive particles can travel thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers. So this is, of course, major topic for this morning, and during the day, if any additional information, I will share that additional news on my Telegram page, and of course in the second update, if I manage to make second update today. We also have RIA Novosti's report that Russian armed forces continue to deploy additional troops into Kursk direction, despite all the attempts of Kiev regime forces to continue their advances in this salient that was created after incursion into Russian territory. At this point, it seems like Kiev regime troops are stuck, and without additional reinforcements, current grouping of forces would not be able to continue the advances. They clearly run out of steam. Plus, Russian side deployed a significant number of troops in this area, and Kiev regime is now in have to make have two choices basically, and both choices are bad for Kiev regime. One is to withdraw forces, gradually withdraw forces from the Kursk salient, which will raise question in Ukraine, especially among militaries. How come that Kiev regime sacrificed number of brigades of the armed forces in this senseless assault on the Kursk region, while Kiev regime's defense lines are crumbling on Kupiansk direction, on New York Toretsk direction, on Avdiivka sector and other areas. And if Kiev regime will send in more brigades in this Kursk salient to regain, to manage to continue this further offensive operations, once again, whatever additional brigades will be sent in, most likely we are talking about 3-4 brigades that partially already are engaged. Still Russian side will stop these brigades and will decimate, obviously, and yet again questions will rise what in Ukraine, and I guess in the Western collective West also that are supportive of Kiev regime, questions will rise what the hell just happened, because probably you also noticed that in even there are some extremists in the collective West still are trying to find some sort of military justification for this Kursk invasion. Analysts, experts, they really struggle to come up with any logical explanation of of current actions of the Kyiv regime. Even die-hard supporters of Kyiv regime struggle to understand what is going on. That's why, by the way, not just me, but many people, more and more people are considering possibility that all this Kursk story is a trap for created by Russian side for last more or less capable brigades of the Kyiv regime to decimate these brigades, and they're basically in that case we will definitely see beginning of the end of Kyiv regime's armed forces as a more or less capable entity. I shared my take on the situation yesterday during the first update, and I spoke about it during the live stream also, so I guess no need to go into details of my reading of the situation. But yet again, even Western diehard supporters of the Kyiv regime in the West are struggling to understand what Kyiv regime is doing and why they are sacrificing their strategical reserves in this senseless offensive on Kursk, while on other sectors of the front line, Kyiv regime troops are struggling to maintain their defense lines. Yet again, Russian armed forces deploying additional reinforcements in this area, and the reports are coming in today that Kyiv regime is starting deploying into this Kursk salient additional brigades, and at this point at least 6-7 brigades, I will say, are engaged in this incursion into Russian territory from Kyiv regime's side, plus foreign mercenaries and special forces of the main intelligence directorate of the Ukraine's defense ministry. On initial stages, as I said quite a few times before, 3 Ukrainian brigades went in, and as I said yesterday and today, reports are coming in that Kyiv regime is sending another troops of another 3 brigades that were in reserve, and of course other brigades that were located in the Sumy region are also engaged in this incursion. So at least we are talking about at least 6-7 brigades of the Kyiv regime's armed forces that will be decimated eventually in this area. Let's continue. RIA Novosti is reporting that as a result of long-range precise strikes, Russian armed forces destroyed warehouses in the Sumy region with their rocket fuel and their missiles for MLRS systems. Also, RT is reporting that incursion into Russia could spell doom for Kiev, according to ex-Austrian official. Interesting, it's not just experts and analysts, but former and even current, by the way, high-ranking officials in the West are struggling to understand what is happening. Well, this is an example. For example, Ukraine's incursion into Kursk region across the border in Russia is a risky gamble that could backfire and led to a major defeat and loss of Western support. Gustav Gressel, a former Austrian defense ministry official, has told their Der Spiegel media outlet, and well, rare occasion when one may agree with the statement of former Western official. This incursion into Kursk region will definitely backfire on the Kyiv regime, and I believe this Kursk invasion, we can count from Kursk invasion beginning of the end of Kyiv regime's armed forces as a more or less capable entities, because yet again, once these last brigades from strategical reserve of Kyiv regime will be decimated, game is over. That's it. Kyiv regime will have no chance to stabilize front line on any of their direction. And one should also expect some internal turmoil in Ukraine, because yet again, it's not just Western allies of the Kyiv regime are struggling to understand what Zelensky is doing and his so-called generals, but inside Ukraine questions being raised because militaries in Ukrainian militaries and Ukrainian public figures are also expressing doubts about current developments. Let's continue. And also, by the way, Kommersant newspaper is reporting that according to Tasnim news agency, US will declare in September, in the next months, about withdrawal of international forces from Iraq. Interesting. It will, it's only a couple of weeks now before September. Let's see, but it seems like from September we will see gradual withdrawal of US and its allied forces from Iraq. Interesting development. I believe foreign minister of Iraq will travel to United States to make a combined statement on this matter. RT is also reporting that Russian fertilizer exports to BRICS partners hit all-time high. Russia supplied a record volume of fertilizers to Brazil in July. The news agency RIA Novosti reported on Saturday, citing customs data from the South American nation. Brazil, the world's leading importer of soil and enhancers, exceeded 1 million tons of Russian fertilizer imports in 3 consecutive months through July, when shipments reached an all-time high 1,140,000 tons, basically, marking month-on-month growth by 7.5%. In monetary terms, exports of Russian fertilizers to the BRICS partner rapidly increased by 8% to $364.4 million, the highest since March 2023. Well, interesting, and good information that cooperation between the BRICS member states are, on rise. And also good information for Russian economy, because Russian exports are on rise. Also, RIA Novosti is reporting that according to Serbian Vice Deputy Prime Minister, basically Aleksandar Vulin, despite all the talks in Europe about diversification of its energy sector, without Russian energy supplies, Europe would not be able to survive. Okay, I will agree with this. And all these talks, by the way, that Europe will cut all the imports of Russian energy sources is just a talks. It's just a talks. European economies cannot afford that. They might not buy directly from Russia. EU member states some of them may not buy directly from Russia, but they will buy through the third parties, fourth parties, and will pay significantly higher prices. That's all, because on the market there is no such volumes of energy to basically allow EU member states to completely ignore Russian supplies. So I completely agree with the Deputy Prime Minister of Serbia on this. And dear friends, I guess this is it for this short update. Let's check right now. Maybe any updates on our breaking news on main media outlets. We have this information, by the way, that IAEA did not see danger You know what? I'm gonna translate this, man, and you be the judge. How adequate this IAEA is, man. So, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, Mariano Grossi, or his name is Raffaello Grossi, isn't it? Rafael Grossi, whatever, stated that there are no threats to the nuclear safety of the Zaporozhye MPP, and recent reports of a drone strike on the plant describing the damage to the cooling tower of the plant. Grossi did not mention who was responsible for the drone strike on the Zaporozhye MPP. What a surprise, man. This is a CIA asset. This Grossi, by the way. This is a CIA asset. And of course, he will only say what he is authorized to say by his bosses in Langley. That's it. But you tell me how adequate this statement from IAEA is, that there is no danger for safety of the nuclear power station, when we are seeing these videos, for God's sake, when a cooling tower is in burning. This is vital infrastructure of the nuclear power station cooling system, right? Because even if nuclear reactors are under cold shutdown, nuclear fuel rods, they need constant cooling. But tell this to Rafael Grossi, man. That's the state of Western ruling class at this point, by the way. They just don't care about anything, really. And because they have such a strong grasp, such a stronger, tight control over their opinions or narratives in the West, they have no fear that societies in the West will challenge them, because they know majority of public in the Western states are under stronger influence of propaganda and will take whatever is thrown at them from MSM. It's unfortunate, obviously, but it is reality. And yes, this is it for now. By the way, this is it for now. As I said, I'm a little short on time, and but still I will try to be active on my Telegram channel, and let's see, maybe I will manage to make second news update also later on, towards late afternoon. This is it for now. Relatively short update. Hopefully you will find it informative, interesting, and useful. And if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. This is the only way we can deal with the algorithm. And for very same reason, if you can, please share information about my channels in a real time with your friends and colleagues, or on internet, by the way, on any of the platforms that you are actively using. And finally, if you like my work, if you want to support this small media project and me, you can do it through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. I'm afraid I was too optimistic when I said that maybe before end of this summer our community on Patreon will reach 200. We will definitely not, but still, if you can, please consider to subscribe to my Patreon. By the way, a monthly subscription starts from $5, and I have plenty of bonus content on Patreon regularly, so you may find that page interesting also. Okay, this is it for now. Have a great day and take care. Bye for now.